Hey everybody, welcome to Ottawa Swordplay's Saturday drill class for July 24th. And this is actually our last video drill class like this because starting in August we are going to be going back to having in-person classes on Saturday. We will still be producing a lot of video, but it just won't be the live stream class after this. Unless we get a huge demand all of a sudden for it again. I've really enjoyed these, so thanks to everybody who's come out and who's watched them. Today we're going to be working on the Bogen, which is mostly a technique for the grossemesser, but we can use it for the longsword as well. Of course, as usual, we'll start with our foundation actions, and we'll start with our foot rotations. So weight on the balls of your feet, and rotate all the way to one side, other side and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Next, we're going to do our thumb grip flip, and this will be important for one of the things we're doing with the Bogen today. So starting in the handshake grip with the crossguard in line with your wrist, flip up, making that nice T between the crossguard and your wrist, and then drop back down, trying to keep your arms straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I say keep your arms straight, of course I mean flexible and extended. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and next we're going to do our windshield wiper. We're going to start with the right hand. So I've got the sword held in the thumb grip, pointed it to my right side, and my hand on the pommel. And we're going to switch from the long grip to the short grip as we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and then we're going to switch to the other hand, and I'm just going to move out of the way of the lapel, and we'll stay in the thumb grip, but just keeping our other hand out of the way. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so we're also going to do our one for our shoulders here. So we want to hold this sword like this, upper arm parallel to the floor, sword parallel to the floor, rotate down and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we're going to switch to the other side, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and I'm going to introduce a new one today that is related to the Bogen specifically and a couple of other techniques, Sturtzhau and scorpion scale. And for the first version of this, I'm going to keep my feet, they can be shoulder width apart or so, but together, so I don't have a particular lead foot, but I'm going to hold my sword as though I'm in an ox position. So this is going to be a little awkward in the hips, but that's okay. And I'm going to bring my point down, rotate the sword around, and point forward on the other side. Drop the point, circle around, forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. I find this a lot like paddling a kayak. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, good. Now, we're going to incorporate this same action into our steps. So this time I am starting left foot forward with my sword on my right. You can start on either side, but this is sort of my more natural starting position. And I'm going to drop the point down, rotate here, then I'm going to rotate on the balls of my feet and pass forward. Drop down, sword starting to come forward, rotate on the balls of my feet, pass forward. So I'm going to start back here, and we're just going to do forward passes with this. So starting in ox, scorpion's tail, rotate, step. 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 Last one, scorpion's tail, rotate, step. All right, good. So the bogen is the bow or the bow or the bend. That's what it means in English. Of course, bow and bow originally were one word in English, but kind of got split. But the idea is that we're creating an arch that we can move through safely. And the bogen is unusual for us in that it is a defense. It doesn't really have an attack component, but it's a really solid defense. Now, the bogen is much easier with a one-handed weapon. Feel free to switch. And the first version of the bogen that we're going to do, we're going to do either from the gate or from the boar guard. And you can choose. The boar guard is a little bit easier. However, if I'm standing in the boar guard with my point pointed forward, it does not invite my opponent to attack. And since this is a defense, I'm clearly trying to invite them to attack. So this would work better from the gate. But the idea is going to be the same. What we're going to do is we're going to thrust our sword forward in an arch. Now, some of our sources do say you can just bring your sword up, but it is better to go in an arch underneath where their blade is. If you're just coming straight up, it's really easy for them to do a pulling and get around your defense. So we're going to thrust forward into this arch, and then we're going to take a leaf step. So this is our wide step forward, having not rotated on the balls of our feet. And then from here, we're going to pull the pommel to bring the sword around to start our cut. And then I'm going to do a triangle step and finish. And I'm cutting onto the sword on the other side here, but the cut could be to the arms or the head or wherever. So it'll be thrust, leaf, pull, triangle, cut. All right? And I don't have somebody counting here for me today, so I'm just going to do a bunch until I get tired. So, thrust, leaf, pull, triangle, cut. Reset, 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 thrust, leaf, pull, triangle, cut. 3 more. Thrust, leaf, pull, triangle, cut. 2 more. Thrust, leaf, pull, triangle, cut. Last one. Thrust, leaf, pull, triangle, cut. All right. Now, the bogen works from both sides. It is not exactly symmetrical because our hands are in slightly different positions, but from the other side, the idea is the same. We're going to thrust underneath. My hands are not crossed, so this is a bit easier for the longsword. I'm going to take that leaf step, and I'm not really pulling. I'm rotating around, but we're going to still stick with pull, and then I'm doing the triangle and cutting on this side. So when I get to the other side, my hands end up crossed, which means my reach is going from long to short. which makes it a little bit less effective. But still, thrust, leaf, pull, triangle, cut. Reset, 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 thrust, leaf, pull, triangle, cut. 3 more. Thrust, leaf, pull, triangle, cut. 2 more. Thrust, leaf, pull, triangle, cut. Last one. Thrust, leaf, pull, triangle, cut. All right, so we can do the Bogen from any guard, and of course the trickiest one is going to be from the tower. And we're going to actually do it proactively the way we do our hidden strikes. So my initial action is going to be an extension as though I'm doing a strike, because I don't want my partner to know what I'm doing. So then here I have not stepped yet. To turn into the Bogen, I need to push my pommel across, and that's going to bring me under here. Now, my pal is set up with my sword, with the sword already extended, so it's a little bit tricky for me to get underneath it. But when the attack is coming in, it's easier to do that. Still, you can see that the point should be going in a fairly straight line. It's not circling around, it's plunging. And this is exactly how the Sturtzhau works as well, the plunging strike. All right, so from the tower, what we're going to be doing is we're going to extend, cross, and now we're going to rotate, because we're going to go a little bit closer this time. And then we're going to step in. Now from here, there's lots of things we can do, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to let go of the pommel, and I'm going to suppress my opponent's hands. All right, so it'll be boom, boom, rotate, step, suppress. Then I'm just going to raise the tip of my sword so that it's more or less parallel to the other person's, and I'm going to step to allow that cut to happen. All right, so extend, cross, rotate, step, suppress, align, step. 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 Notice that on the step, my sword is just following my body. Extend, cross, rotate, step, suppress, align, sword doesn't move, step. Extend, cross, rotate, step, suppress, align, step. Extend, cross, rotate, step, suppress, align, step. 3 more. Extend, cross, rotate, step, suppress, align, step. 2 more. Extend, cross, rotate, step, suppress, align, step. Last one. Extend, cross, rotate, step, suppress, align, step. I should mention too, a lot of our hidden strikes, I like to extend and maybe start rotating sometimes before I change my hands. With this one, because that point has to get underneath, holding off on the rotation gives us a half a beat more time to get the sword into position. And that half beat is a lot of time in this circumstance. All right, now, there are tons of things we can do with our bogans on this side. So I did the suppression. We can also just grab the sword here, and then we can kind of do whatever we like. Yeah, we can also wrestle. We don't have to do anything close. We can do the cut as we did before. But the other thing that can happen is we can get into a position where the person is either trying to move around or the pressure is weird, and we actually want to cross to that side. So we're going to look at doing the bogen from ox with an expulsion. So for this one, I'm starting in the ox here, and I'm going to thrust, and that thrust is bringing my point low and under. And this is a lot like the beginning of the scorpion tail here, except for that it's not. Now, having done that, I'm going to take my leaf step so that I'm stepping wide, but staying under this cover. Then, I'm going to do the rotation into the thumb grip. And I'm using my pommel a little bit, but I'm really making this switch so that my hand is making that T. And this means that my sword is rotating against theirs so that I'm changing the leverage and I'm shearing along their blade with the edge of mine. And the rotation adds impetus to this. So this is the beginning of an expulsion. And I stepped this way, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the pommel and I'm going to step out. Now if I pull this pommel hard with the pel will fall over, so I'm not going to do that. But I've stepped to here, expelled their sword, and now I'm going to rotate this way on the balls of my feet. And again, my sword just stays where it is, and I step and cut. So it's going to be thrust, leaf, thumb, pull, step, rotate, step. All right? So, thrust, leaf, thumb, pull, step, rotate, step. I'm going to move this guy out of my way. Thrust, leaf, thumb, pull, step, rotate, step. Thrust, leaf, thumb, pull, step, rotate, step. Reset. Thrust, leaf, thumb, pull, step, rotate, step. Reset. Thrust, leaf, thumb, pull, step, rotate, step. Thrust, leaf, thumb, pull, step, rotate, step. Thrust, leaf, thumb, pull, step, rotate, step. 3 more. Thrust, leaf, thumb, pull, step, rotate, step. Thrust, leaf, thumb, pull, step, rotate, step. 1 more, last one. Thrust, leaf, thumb, pull, step, rotate, step. Now, there is some weirdness about the steps because this pull, we're trying to add impetus to fling the other person's sword out of the bind. And a couple of those steps, I stepped quite wide. And if I step wide while I'm doing that, I actually remove some of that impetus. So we actually want to step in, and then that's why we rotate and step across. But our initial leaf is to draw the person wide, we step into them, and then we're going the other way from where their sword has been driven. So I want to do 3 more, making sure that we're focusing on doing that correctly. So thrust, leaf, thumb, pull, step, rotate, step. 2 more. Thrust, leaf, thumb, pull, step, rotate, step. Last one. Thrust, leaf, thumb, pull, step, rotate, step. So the last thing I'm going to say about this particular technique is, of course, those things do get blurred together. So I'm thrusting underneath and stepping, and then this actually becomes one action and motion combined, which is where the impetus comes from. But we always want to make sure that the sword has moved enough that we are clear, that we have passed the sword in front of us before we step right onto it. So that is why we break things down that way. All right, well, that is 3 different uses of the bogen. And as a reminder, the first one, we just went wide and we're cutting to the right. The second one, we came in a little bit closer and we're in wrestling distance. And then the last one was actually faking ourselves wide and then going across underneath and moving the sword across in front of us. So it's a question of where relative to your opponent's sword you are. Well, I hope that was fun. I love the bogen a lot, and I wish that it was more common in our longsword sources, but we see it a lot in the grossemesser. Anyway, I thank you for attending our final Saturday drill class of the year for the time being, and I hope to see you in class or when we post our other videos.